There are two big mistakes and two major tips people are missing out on when they use Wim Hof and ice therapy to treat their IBD. And the first mistake that people make is that they think that just jumping into cold water and seeing how long they can suffer is going to magically heal their Crohn's and colitis like this. They think just jumping in and suffering is going to fix things. And just moving around and going like this. But instead, it's about having control over your mind. It's about using the breathing technique to stay calm and embrace the cold and stay calm and have control over your autonomic nervous system. Like this. You breathe and you focus on your breath and you embrace the cold and you work up to it. The Wim Hof method is practicing control over your mind so you're not constantly being thrown around by external stimuli. This is important because living in fear, living with guilt, anxiety, or anger, this puts your autonomic nervous system into fight or flight mode, and that can have health consequences if this goes on for a long time. Breath work helps you respond to the cold in a calm way so your autonomic nervous system stays in that rest, digest, and heal mode. And the cold is practice to help you deal with other negative stimuli better, such as stress involving your kids, stress involving money or work, etc. Tip number 1 is understanding the root cause of your IBD. So Dr. Hammer, the founder of German New Medicine, saw that everyone who had Crohn's and colitis, that 100% of the time, if he looked at their CT brain scans, he would see a ring in a very specific location of the brain 100% of the time. And this is caused by a conflict shock, a stressful event that catches us off guard. This is a threat to our survival, and our mind is going to increase our chances of survival by putting an organ into overdrive, which increases its job, its survival capabilities. So the purpose of the intestines is to digest and absorb things. The conflict theme is experiencing something in our life as hard to digest, and we have this in many of our languages. The intestines are controlled by the brainstem, the oldest part of the brain, the lizard brain. It does not know the difference between a real piece of food stuck in our intestines or something in our life that is hard to digest. So in the conflict active phase, while this hard to digest thing is in our life, the intestinal cells are proliferating. The purpose of these extra gut cells is to produce extra digestive juices to help digest this hard to digest thing. So when this conflict gets resolved, that is when our body no longer needs these cells, so it starts to get rid of them. And the removal of physical flesh can result in pain, blood, and mucus in your stools, and diarrhea. So Crohn's, colitis, and these never-ending gut symptoms, they're caused by something called tracks. Tracks are things that remind us of the original conflict, and it turns our intestines back into the overdrive, and it restarts that process of cell proliferation and cell loss. So when we encounter a track, we get emotional. Identifying our tracks and resolving them is the most important part of healing IBD. Now, have you ever seen a dog that is afraid of a rolled up newspaper? And now, have you ever seen a dog that isn't afraid of a rolled up newspaper? This is because people and animals, they interpret stimuli differently as positive or negative based on their past traumatic experiences. You might not be consciously aware of these negative stimuli, but your subconscious is. Tip number 2 is, how do we neutralize these stimuli that make us negatively emotional with the Wim Hof method? When you experience these things and you feel yourself getting emotionally worked up, this is when we use the Wim Hof method. Just like when we're exposed to cold water, we practice our breathing, we focus on our breath, and we allow those negative thoughts to fade away. And the autonomic nervous system has just experienced this negative stimuli. Oh, this last time this negative stimuli was in our environment, something bad happened to us. Let's shift the autonomic nervous system into this fight or flight mode. But instead, you are grabbing control of your own mind and keeping it in that rest, digest, and heal mode, and staying calm, staying centered, and not allowing the intestinal program to run back into overdrive and start this process of cell proliferation and cell loss and causing you symptoms. This is a student's testimonial who got their emotional triggers under control with the help of me and my coaches inside my Rapid Gut Healing program. Go down in the video description below if you want to learn more. And so the second mistake that I see a lot of people making is having the wrong mindset when it comes to food. This was the biggest mistake I was making. I was essentially being a crazy person about food. And if you want to learn how to get all of your food intolerances under control in just 3 simple steps, then click on this video right here and I'll tell you how.